Hey, hello everybody, this is Chaos with Chaos Esports Productions, bringing you another Protoss Bronze to Masters League Series game. Today we're going to be looking at a PvZ here on Overgrowth Ladder Edition, and today we're going to be looking at specifically what to do when your Zerg opponent decides, hey, I'm going to take your gas. I honestly don't see this a whole lot on the ladder, but when I do, it is kind of always interesting to see how it all plays out, and I think I'm on 1, 2, there we go. Things are looking good now. So, yeah, so definitely going to be an interesting little show we got here today, just to give you an idea of what to do when your gas is taken, what that could mean, as well as how you should read into this and what you should be scouting for, because the scouting aspect, when that happens, is kind of a crucial component to see whether or not your opponent's going to choose to be aggressive or be a little bit more greedy and go ahead and take a really, really fast third. So I'm going to go ahead and send out a 9 pylon scout, which honestly I don't really do a whole lot. This game I just kind of felt like doing it because it's Overgrowth, which is a 2-player map, and it's fairly close spawn positions. So I will happily go ahead and send out that 9 scout just to go and take a look, see what's going on. Get in here, and we really don't see anything going down, so we're kind of like, well, he could be going for that early expand, not quite sure. No spawning pool yet, so just going to go ahead and send out our probe to take a look at the natural, and then we're also going to just kind of poke around and then poke back into the main to see whether or not he went ahead and went for his spawning pool. Now, as I've mentioned in many of my Bronze to Masters League Series games, we're going to be going for a gateway expand build. Gateway goes up in the main, get your first assimilator, and then we're going to go take second pylon and our cybernetics core. Do a little bit of dancing down here, just keeping tabs on everything that's going on, trying to minimize. He actually gets it on pretty much when he needs to. Anyway, so now that the scout has kind of seen the hatch go down, one thing that we want to make sure that we do with this scout is we want to go back into the base and see whether or not a gas was taken. If a gas is taken, then he is most likely going to be going for a relatively quick speed, or maybe even potentially quick roaches. Kind of varies depending on. But we go back in and we don't see any gas has been planted down, so we're like, okay, so he's definitely going for a more mineral-focused opening, and he's taken our gas. So with that, he's not going to be getting an early speed, and that means that we're not going to really have to deal with any sort of like super early aggression, although we do deal with a handful of lings just kind of randomly. But we're pretty safe to go ahead and plant down our expansion, start getting things up to where we need to. Going to be focusing on getting out a zealot to deal with this, because obviously we would like to take our second gas relatively quickly, so we can get our mothership core and start getting upgrades and things like that once our forge gets down. So going to be getting a forge up as well as a gateway. Now this map is really, really strange as far as the wall off. The wall off. So these little pipes you cannot build on them, so we're going to go ahead and build the forge 1 block into the pipes, and then we'll start our wall. Now, one thing that this does is if you go forge gateway, this fully walls this area off, so obviously you've got all of this area over here to deal with, but we'll start with this and then start to build on here a little bit later. Actually, I don't think in this game I actually deal with that because I'm too focused on attacking. So now with 2 zealots out as well as our mothership core, we're going to go ahead and start to poke out just a little bit. We're kind of a little curious as to what's going on. We don't really have a good idea as far as scouts. We see that he does have a handful of lings coming across the field, so we're actually going to send out this probe to try and kind of sneak around, just barely gets by without him noticing, and then send our zealot out to deal with the lings. And then this probe is going to be focused on getting a scout on this third base. The reason why we want to scout our opponents for a third base is because if he is going for a third base, that means he's going to be very, very focused on getting his economy up and getting himself where he wants to be as far as his drone count. So we get in, we see the hatch gone down, so we're like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and plant down that pylon and start the pressure on. Going to be kernel boosting out the Cybernetics core. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have these 2 gateways down a little bit earlier. They probably should have gone down about 30 or 40-ish seconds ago. And then we'll, once the warp gate research is done, we'll go ahead, start to get our defenses up for any potential counterattacks, and then we're going to just dive in on this natural, or on this third base, because this third base is going to be extra production for him, as well as put us in a really, really awkward position if we let him get, to 3 base economy really quickly. So going to be kernel boosting out everything. He actually doesn't focus anything down. He kind of assumes that I don't see it, and I'm going to go ahead and warp in handful of zealots back home. Now, the thing we don't need to worry about is we don't need to worry about speedling so far. We see he is trying to focus down the cybernetics core. Not sure what he's really trying to get accomplished there, but no micro from him, so we're pretty much just happily taking out his third base, and yeah, he doesn't really care. So once we focus down the third base, we're like, okay, we've already got the units here. We've got a recall if need be, so we'll definitely happily go ahead and put on a little bit of pressure. Just to see what we can get done. So pick off a couple lings. Now, obviously, he's got 1 spine crawler, which we really don't need to worry about. And he's obviously in kind of panic mode. Thankfully for us, our +1 is actually just about to finish, so his speed does finish. He doesn't get quite the good surround that he needs. And actually, in this engagement, I believe, maybe not quite in this engagement. All the lings just die before +1 actually finishes. But +1 actually helps a whole bunch. Gonna lose that sentry, unfortunately. And the mothership core, we gotta focus. We gotta make sure that this mothership core doesn't go down, because that is our kind of one escape path. So gonna focus down the queen because we don't want him to continue larva production. Basically, at this point, we're just okay building units. There's not a whole lot he can do. Obviously, we see that he's going for a spire, but he didn't really do a good job getting up enough gas to deal with, he's only got enough gas to deal to make 5 mutas at the worst case. And with 4 gate production as well as +1 finish, stalkers will be more than enough to deal with that. So focusing down the natural and basically just gonna move into this. So yeah, so basically whenever your opponent does go for that kind of weird, I'm gonna take your gas and limit your gas, basically what he's saying is, I don't want you to tech. And with that, you have to kind of adjust your build accordingly. I mean, you can see I've been on gateway units for pretty much the entire game. I mean, I didn't need to really tech up to my robotics facility or even get, I probably should have gone ahead. Actually, he had 7 mutas in production. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, 7 mutas really aren't going to do a whole lot. He goes ahead and calls GG before they even pop. And, mutas take 33 seconds to build. I still got plenty of stuff, plenty of warp gates to add on more stalkers if need be. So overall, just kind of a really easy, straightforward game. But yeah, so if you ever see your opponent taking a gas, the 2 things you need to be thinking is 1, is he trying to expand early? And 2, if he's not trying to expand early, what is his main objective? And that's where scouting is going to be very, very crucial. Obviously, by delaying your tech, you're not going to be able to get out things like an observer to get into his base. So I highly recommend being a little bit more on the aggressive side, poking in, just trying to get a feel for what your opponent's doing. Now, one thing that I do want to make comment of is he didn't really do a good job of droning. Here, let's get rid of this, bring this back, and go back just a little bit, probably to... Yeah, before I go and, ravage his drone line. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we see we've got 12 drones here as well as 12 drones here. So he's not even fully saturated on 2 base at this point. And really, a Zerg player definitely wants to be fully saturated at this point. I mean, you're 8 minutes into the game. He was going for a third. And usually that means you're just going to drone until you get that, that 2 base economy. Then you build, then you usually build your units, or at least more static defense to deal with any type of early pressure. I just don't feel like he did a really good job. I mean, he's like, I'm going to take my third and then wait to build defenses and not really get, at that point he delays all of his units, so he can't really do anything. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think. How have you dealt with a player who takes your gas? What are kind of some of the things that you do? I'd be really, really curious to see what you guys do, as we are trying to help everybody out, make sure that they can get themselves up their ladder, because that's what we do here. So, I do apologize for the delay in the videos. This week has been kind of crazy. We've got our project going on at class, and I have been at work pretty much until 9 p.m., pretty much this entire week except for today. So I was glad I could get this video out and let you guys see kind of some of the things that I'm seeing on ladder. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As mentioned before, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you did enjoy the video. Feel free to hit that subscribe button in the lower left-hand corner, and also feel free to check out the channel. Plenty of other ZVP as well as ZVT and ZVP. Oh, whoa. Yeah, PVT, PvZ, and PvP. Plenty of those games out there. Feel free to check those out. Other than that, the only thing I can say is if you're interested in me taking a look at one of your replays, there is an email address in the description. Feel free to check that out. I'd be more than happy to do a cast of one of your games, give you some tips on things you can improve on. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next game.